Hello, my name is Ron Rhodes. I'd like to talk to you about SafeStart. A way of looking at safety that's maybe a little different than you have before. It's looking at four states: rushing, frustration, fatigue, complacency, and looking at how those four states can contribute to critical errors in eyes not being on task, mind not on task, line of fire, and balance, traction, grip. And then we'll talk about how you can take the knowledge of those four states and apply some critical error reduction techniques to manage safety in a new way. The good news about SafeStart, it can be applied on and off the job uh, safety type concerns. And we're going to look today at an off the job safety event that my wife and I, Renee, recently went through with our two Yorkie puppies, Baron and Bella. We drove from Central Texas, live in College Station, and we were driving to Central Arkansas near Hot Springs. It's about a 7.5 hour drive, and certainly had all of the four states: rushing, frustration, fatigue, complacency, that could be involved. To be honest, rushing was probably the least of the four, simply because we were on vacation, we weren't in a hurry, and so we really weren't in a rush state during the trip at all. But still, rushing can be an important factor. In our case, it really was not the main one. Frustration, fatigue, complacency, however, all three of those were important and were things that we wanted to control. Frustration can come in many different ways. I mean, certainly one frustrating consideration is traffic. Always an issue, no matter if you're in rural Arkansas, if you're in a big city in Texas. Traffic can become frustrating. So talk a little bit about how we manage that and try to keep that at bay as much as possible. Um, the I hope we didn't forget this syndrome is the situation where you go on a trip or you go on a vacation, and as luck would have it, every single time it seems you forgot something that was maybe critical to the trip. So we'll talk about how the frustration of did we forget something syndrome could be corrected. And then also on the frustration side is our two puppies that were with us. Bella's a seasoned traveler. She's been on vacation before. Baron, this was his first trip. He's 9 months old. And so we were a little apprehensive about how we could control his behavior, so to speak. So talk a little bit about that. And then fatigue and complacency. On the traffic side, there are things you can do to control traffic. And so I would say that from a critical error reduction technique, the biggest thing was to self-trigger on the state. It's not a question of is traffic going to be a problem? The question is, how are you going to control it, or your response to it? And the easiest thing that we could do, or the most controllable thing we could do, was to try to time our trips through larger cities and metropolitan areas to avoid rush hour times, because obviously in the morning and in the afternoon, the traffic is going to be at its peak. So we tried to avoid being in those large areas during those times, and we traveled accordingly. Um, from the perspective of did we forget anything, uh, I always forget something, and so that's a habit that I've noticed. One of the critical error reduction techniques says to work on habits. Well, a habit that I often have is forgetting something, and the best way that I have discovered to keep that from happening is to make a list, and to make a list of the things that you inevitably have forgotten in the past: phone chargers, prescription medication, things like that. So we made our list out about a week, and then we were able to, as the time approached, we were able to check things off that list and make sure we didn't forget something important. Puppy accidents, puppy breaks is something that we knew we would have to address, and it really came around in a couple of different ways. It also helped on fatigue, because often breaks every 2 hours or so is important to keep you on edge as you're driving. So we were able to control the puppy breaks and the walk arounds, if you will, and our breaks that we needed to take, as well as getting snacks, gasoline, things like that, to try to break it up into 2-hour segments of driving. And that worked well. It worked well for the puppies. It worked well for us. I will say that we did bring a potty pad in the car just in case, but I am also happy to say that we didn't use it, and so that was a plan B that we didn't have to use. Fatigue is one thing that I have to fight, and anybody that's driving for a period of time knows that's an issue. So those timed breaks of every 2 hours was just kind of the right amount of time to about the time you started to become really fatigued, we would pull over and take a break. So that worked out well. Complacency can easily be an issue, especially in the world of technology today. The car can be so GPS synced and ride so smoothly that you can go out and set your cruise control and your lane assist to where you can virtually just go to sleep and probably drive, which is something we obviously wanted to avoid. So the complacency risk was really best controlled by us taking, I guess, the Robert Frost approach, which was the road less traveled. Take most of the trip on farm to market roads and in nice highways, but not interstate highways, so that we could take advantage of a changing scenery and keep down the complacency of locking in a cruise control for many hours on edge. And plus it let us see a part of the country that really we had never seen before, and it was really nice. So I think the beauty of SafeStart is the application both on and off the job. We were able to do that for an off-the-job event. We had a great time, and I really do think that the application of the SafeStart critical error reduction technique methods helped us have an enjoyable and most importantly, a safe vacation. Cindy, it was a pleasure talking to you on the phone the other day. We've conversed via emails a number of times, but it was nice to put a name with a face. And it's always good to hear from Larry. And so I look forward to hearing back from you folks and friends at SafeStart. I appreciate the opportunity to contribute this video and hope to see you all soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.